Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase and pricing details relating to this Hublot Classic Fusion Ultra Thin. So the watch in my hand represents perhaps the most unexpected Hublot. 42 millimeters in diameter in grade 5 titanium. It's only 8.5 millimeters thick, and from lug tip to lug tip, 50.8 millimeters. It is powered by the Hublot manufacturer caliber 1300 series, which debuted on the original 45 millimeter ultra thin in 2012. And it was a skeleton watch out of the gate. It became 42 millimeters, still a skeleton, in 2013. And then in 2014, this solid dial 42 millimeter case variant was launched. And I think this is going to be the sweet spot for a lot of watch collecting classicists. This is a great watch. It's mechanically distinguished, beautifully thin, fits well, it's in excellent taste, and it's from a large company backed by an even bigger company that'll be around forever to provide parts and service. So on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, you can see it wears nicely. Now, it's not a tiny watch, it is a very thin watch, but the angular orientation of the lugs means it hugs my wrist nicely. So if your wrist is as small as 15 centimeters circumference, you're going to find this wears well. All of basically resin, rubber, leather, titanium, and sapphire, it is very light. There's your over the top, and then there's your down the barrel. The watch features a strap that is, in Hublot's fashion, a fusion of materials, a high-grade cut of large rectangular scale alligator leather, and a semi-gloss sort of cobalt blue with a monotone stitch. It's blue rubber underneath to prolong the life of the leather and provide a bit of a guard against sweat and oil on the wrist. You can see we've got an Hublot factory strap here and a factory clasp. The clasp features a combination of polish and satin. You can see the H-shaped Hublot bolts. Twin trigger release, you have to press both for it to pop open. Then the chassis of the buckle internally is satinated and polished with a Hublot H logo, and the strap sort of fits in and then pins down on those two pins. So once you size it, all of the extra length is hidden underneath the clasp and the strap, so there's no need for minder loops. And remember, these are minder loops. They normally age faster than the rest of the strap, so dispensing with them is cleaner and also prolongs the life of the strap. You can see the strap is held onto the case using screws, which is a nice secure way of doing this. Now, the Classic Fusion line is the closest in design and ambiance to the original 1980 Hublot, a compact dress watch which was gold with a rubber strap, and that was considered to be ambitious and a little bit heretical at the time. The idea of materials fusion continues, but through the 2000s, Hublot watches got big, very big, and while that was their calling card and the key to a lot of success, a lot of folks who remember the previous MDM Genève era, when that was the name of the company and Hublot was the model, would prefer something like this. And they didn't like the bigger is better era, so this is one for the Hublot traditionalists. Taking a quick look at the case, you can see that it is very much like the original MDM Genève Hublot. It has a push-down crown, it's very thin. It's 30 meters water resistant, which is dress watch standard. You can see we have the plastic or polymer composite sort of resin washer that sits between the bezel and the case. It is grade 5 titanium, which is harder than grade 2 and lighter than steel, so it's the best of both worlds. It's also hypoallergenic. We have a medley of satin and polish for contrast. And then we get to the dial, which is a lovely white lacquer. The original version of this watch was 45 millimeters and skeleton dialed, and some of them were JZ branded, which wasn't to everyone's taste. The next year, 2013, they came out with a smaller version, still skeleton dialed, but again, not for everyone. 42 millimeters now with a gloss lacquer dial. There were a couple of other variants, black dials, rose gold cases, but I think this one is the winner from 2014 when the watch became much more broadly appealing. Small seconds, an unusual feature on an Hublot time-only watch. We have rhodium-plated steel applique indices, which are nicely faceted. We have faceted baton-style hands. The watch doesn't have hacking seconds, but you can apply a little bit of back pressure and pretty much put the seconds hand wherever you want it. So if you want to freeze it at 12 after setting the watch precisely, you can do that quite easily. It is not hard to synchronize to a reference time. I'll also opine that it's a nicely made movement with very little dead angle from the time you start turning the crown to the time the hand starts moving. Around back, it's a good looking watch. You can see the movement's mechanically finished, but mechanically also distinguished. So while this is machine decoration, this is a 2.9 millimeter thick, 30 millimeter diameter caliber 1301 based on the 1300 architecture. It's a 3 hertz beat rate. It's 23 joules. It is an Hublot manufactured movement, and although only 2.9 millimeters thick, it also has a 90-hour power reserve, which is quite impressive. So like I said, this is a mechanically distinguished watch in a way that perhaps not every Hublot is, but this is their own movement and a great one, and a model that's rarely seen. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.